Hello and welcome to the tutorial on Roman numerals. In this tutorial we're going to go through numbers up to 1000. Now, as a quick recap, what we're going to start with is to go through the letters we have come across so far. So we've come across, and we're going to write them on the right hand side here. I was 1. I'll just write that slightly differently. We've also come across V. V is 5. I'm sure you know the next one. X, that was 10. L is 50. We've also came across C. C is 100. And the last one we came across was D. D was 500. So those are the different letters we have come across so far. Excuse me. Right, what we're going to do on the left hand side is write all the numbers in hundreds. There we go, 500. Now we did the numbers up to 500 before. We're going to carry on and do them up to 1000. Okay, so let's begin. Now you should know this, we did this in a previous tutorial. 100 is C. 200 is C, C. 100 and 100. 300, well now we've got 3 C's. 400, now do you remember how to do 400? 400 is 100 less 500. We'll just make a note of that here. It's 100 less or before 500. And 500, as we've just said, is D. So now the new numbers, and I'm sure you recognize the pattern as to how it works. So let's do 600. 600 is D, that's 500, plus 100. So that is 600. 700 is D, C, C. So it's 500, 600, 700. 800 is D, C, C, C. So that is 800. We've got 500, and we'll just make a note of that. 500, got 100, 100, and another 100. So that makes 800. Now before we do 900, we want to know what 1000 is. Now 1000, we're going to introduce a new letter. 1000 is M. So we can add that to our list over here. 1000 is, or should I say M is 1000. So how do we write 900? 900 is 100, let's see, less 1000. Let's just write that down. It is 100 less, or you can say 100 before, 1000. So those are all the hundreds from 100 to 1000. Now let's scroll the screen down a little bit and we'll practice a couple of them over here. Now we're just going to change colors for this. Now let's suppose we have this Roman numeral. We've got D, C, C, X, 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 V, I, I. It's a very long number, isn't it? So how would we work out what that is? Well, as we always do, we're going to break it down from the left hand side first. So we start on the left hand side, we've got a D. I'm just going to change the color for this. So we start with a D and we go across and we're coming across to an X. So what is that? DCC. Well, it's over here. DCC is 700. Now the rest you should be able to work out as we've done this before. Now we do the X, we go across until we come across to I or V, and we stop. There are 3 X's. 3 X's is 30. And lastly we do the units. We got VII. That's 5, 6, 7. So this Roman numeral DCC XXX VII is 737. So it looked difficult because it was very long, but once you break it down, you can work through it. Let's have a look at one more. Now suppose we have D, C, 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 L, I, V. So what number is that? Does that Roman numeral represent? Again, we're going to break it down. Start from the left hand side. We keep going across until we finish with the C's. There we go. So we've got 500, 100, 100, and another 100. So that is 800. Look at our chart. It's over here. 800. Next, we've got an L, and we stop until we get to an I or a V. L is 50. And lastly, we've got is IV. IV is 1 before 5, that is 4. So this Roman numeral is 854. Again, it looks difficult, but you've got to learn how to break this down. So that is how we do Roman numerals up to number 1000.